appliances.
I can see up there, but it's not.
What you talking about?
I'm trying to pull up full screen here.
Here, I got you. Watch this. Move this keyboard here. Man.
Teamwork makes the dream work. All right, so I'm HM1 Barnes. I've been in the Navy about 16 and a half years, and I will be going over Department of the Navy Records Management Programs Records Management Manual. It's a lot in one place. For exam purposes, anytime you take an exam, you want to look at instruction numbers. These are always important, and they always ask these throughout the exam. So please copy down just the instruction number. Knowing the instruction numbers will get you to the right answer when taking these exams, okay? All right. SSIC codes. This is what I handed out to you guys earlier. These are very important, not just for exam purposes, but in your everyday admin life as a leader. Because as leaders, admin is the backbone of what we do, right? All right. Did it help you guys out? You guys are welcome to copy that down.
Does anybody want my inappropriate one?
Yeah.
Sometimes inappropriate ways are easy ways to remember shit.
All right, we'll let HM1 do its thing. Okay.
Alright, so hopefully nobody gets offended. Alright. My tongue only licks Asian models for only 6 G's flat, and then CAC. So there's another one missing here.
Okay.
Alright, military personnel is my. Telecommunication is tongue. Operations is only. Logistics is licks. Admin is Asian. Medical is models. 4 is financial. Only is ordnance. Ship's design is 6. General is G's. Facilities is flat. And then they're missing the 14,000 series here, but this is CAC actually. So civilian personnel, aeronautical, and then Coast Guard.
Do you guys get that?
I know it's a little inappropriate, but sometimes for me, inappropriate is things I can never forget. Just like records, right? Oh God, you got the big white bitch pregnant run, right? It's an easy way to remember those colors.
Let me just put this out. It's not endorsed by Big Navy.
No. No.
No.
But sometimes the weird stuff is what sticks in our minds a lot easier. And to be honest, not to be offensive, but the corny stuff that's on the other slide sometimes just doesn't stick with me. So I have to come up with my own ditty that makes sense to me, so it's easier to remember when I'm on the test.
Yeah, that's all him. That's not the name. All right. Next slide. All right.
That's it.
Okay.
Do you want to pull up the 6,000s?
No, wait.
That was only it? You only have... Yeah.
That was it. Okay. I'm sorry. I have a little more information here for you guys. Naval records, the permanent records, are broken down into 4 categories. Research, legal, historical, and scientific. I'll say those again. So permanent records are broken down into 4 different categories. Research, legal, historical, and scientific. Okay. And then if local historical records are designated as permanent, in parts 3, 4, and 5 of this instruction, and are over 30 years old. So when you hear big numbers like that, such as 30 years old, you will want to remember that number, right? And then another acronym they had was NAVAR, National Archives and Records Administration. You guys may see that. Yes, ma'am.
Can you blow that screen up a little bit more?
You're asking for a lot. Wait. Current slide. There you go. All right, can you see it?
Yes.
All right. All right.
Yeah, all your notes are for part 2.
Got you. You guys also, and I've seen this on the RP1 and RPC exam, who's overall responsible for this instruction? For the Navy, it'd be the CNO. So that's the Chief of Naval Operations. And on the Marine Corps side, it'd be the Commandant of the Marine Corps. Anytime you see a question asked who's overall responsible for a program, it's who's ever in charge. So whether that's the CNO, CMC, CO of a command, overall in charge, you're looking for the commanding officer or the head of that activity, okay? All right. Management. Okay. Then in the instruction they had about steps for inventorying records. Inventory all records, including machine readables, equipment by each organizational unit to be covered. Analyze inventory data and records to determine proper retention standards. Material is properly categorized as non-record and designated for destruction when its purpose has been served. So that they could ask you that as well. A lot of the exams I've taken, SSICs are big on these exams. And how they ask them is, they're very similar. Two of the answers will be very similar to each other, and then two will be way off. So understanding where the SSICs are will bring you closer to the correct answer. Yes, ma'am.
So,
This here was just the SSICs.
yeah, you guys only have part 3 on your exam, so he was going over some of the stuff that's in part 2 with the type of records that you guys have, and permanent and temporary, and who's the overall manager of that program.
Do we have that slide there?
Yeah, it's on there. It's on the slides. I just only pulled up the one that's on their boobs. It's the slides that are up there.
Any major questions right now that I can answer? Okay.
So on Google Classroom too, I provided a breakdown because I think not just with SSIC codes, but knowing the individual breakdown of the 6000 series is what's going to help y'all, right? Because I mentioned it earlier with knowing your physical standards or exams are usually going to be your 6400 forms, right? Knowing those categories are going to help decipher and at least make 50-50 cutoffs on your test when you're going through these questions. Because usually on your test, you'll have 2 questions that sound like they're the right answer, and 2 questions that are way off and that are not the answer, right? To make that easier to narrow down, know your sub-categories of your 6000 series. Let me see if I can pull it up while he's looking there to kind of go it over with you. There we go. Okay, so 6000-6099 is Gen Admin. 6100 to 6199 is physical fitness. 6200 to 6299 is PrevMed. 6300 to 6399 is GenMed. 6400 to 6599 is Specialty Fields. So that's where the aircraft stuff comes into play. 6600 to 6699 is dental, and then 6600 to 6700 to 6899 is equipment and supplies. So knowing that, right, if you know these categories, I want you to go back and look at your instructions on your bibs, and you'll see how they all tie together and how the actual subjects match up with the instructions that you're going over. You get that concept down, the test makes a lot more sense when you're going and studying through the material. And it'll kind of tell you the theme that's to each test. I'll give you this breakdown when we have a break, but anybody ever come out of a test and say, man, there was a lot of PredMed on that test, there was a lot of FMF. If you ever pay attention to your bibs, there's going to be a theme to each of your exams and where a majority of the focus is going to be. And especially when they keep repeating similar instructions to that subject, you know what you can put more emphasis in studying compared to the others, to where it's easy to retain the most important stuff on that test.
Thank you, HM1. Another small thing I was just looking at. Non-record material will be disposed of at the direct discretion, of the CO after non-record status has been verified. Retention records of less than 1 year should be recommended only for bulky, rapid, accumulating file series. Standard form 115. Once again, those forms, right? So standard form 115 will be used, and it should have the name of the activity, brief description of the record series, retention paragraph stating how long records should be kept. Right, so we're looking at stuff like that. It's not a long instruction. Barring any questions, that's all I have. You guys good? Mm-hmm. All right. HM1 Carol will be up next week, guys. Thank you.
Chapter 21 of the HM manual. You guys are tracking right now. That's our next topic.